Shout out to the old school, back in the days. Missing all the good times, don't let the memories fade. Shout out to the old school.
Hello, everybody in Radioland. This is News and Views with Jesse and
Dylan.
Oh, it's a surprise today. No Ryan. We are broadcasting from Daniel Spectrum. This is Radio Regent coming to you live as always, or possibly not live if you're watching the video. News and Views is a weekly half-hour-long news program for those who want to get behind the headlines, for analysis, interviews, and alternative perspectives from a decidedly progressive point of view.
Each week, special documentaries and discussions exploring important stories internationally, regionally, and locally. As in all things Radio Regent, this program is dedicated to inclusivity, diversity, and positivity.
All right, so this week, what have we got? We got some weather as usual, and as usual, there seems to be a weather event of moderate significance coming tomorrow. Tomorrow's also St. Patrick's Day. I forgot about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and in a very Irish manner, it's going to rain a lot. It's not saying how much here. Oh, yes, it is. So tomorrow there'll be periods of rain, about 10 to 15 millimeters. Winds gusting 20 kilometers. Sorry, regular wind speeds at 20 kilometers, gusting to 50, becoming southwest 40, gusting to 60 in the late afternoon. High of 7 degrees. And today, right now, we're looking at 6 degrees with some pretty moderate wind. It's actually like fairly nice out. I didn't wear my winter jacket today.
I didn't wear my winter hat today.
Oh, that's right. You usually are wearing a hat.
That's right. I freed up the hair today. I put a little bit of product in it. Had some dry spray shampoo.
How's it feel?
Feels great.
Yeah. Looking beyond that, tomorrow night it's going to get quite cold. So watch out. There might be a bunch of ice. It's going to drop to -4 after being 7 degrees and raining all day. Then the next day will be only a high of 0 with a chance of flurries, and then a -8 low overnight on Saturday. So I don't exactly know like what season it is, but that's kind of the norm, I guess, for this period of the year.
I feel like we're kind of transitioning into springtime. This is a beautiful day today. Tomorrow's going to feel like the coast of Ireland with the rain.
And yeah, apparently another interesting weather tidbit is if you felt that this past winter was rather dark, you were correct, because apparently it was the darkest winter in Ontario in 80 years, which is kind of a long time. There's a neat little sun map, courtesy of CTV News here, where it shows the sun energy received at different places in North America. And if you look at Southern Ontario, it's very gray, showing that we got far less sun than usual. Apparently, we went a stretch of 2 weeks in the first weeks of January where there was not a sunny day. And I was like feeling a lot like I was in Vancouver, actually.
Yeah, the sun, it looks like the orange is sun, right?
Yeah, the lighter colors here are where there's more sun energy, and then the darker ones are where there was less than normal.
So gray is less than normal?
Yeah.
So Ontario looks like the moon, basically.
Yeah, actually. It looks quite a bit like that. Apparently in London, Ontario, they went from December 4th to January 8th without a sunny day. And that's unsettling. I'm glad I was, not in London even more than I was in Toronto. Not that I necessarily wanted to be here in the winter either, because at least in Vancouver, it's warm.
And if you're listening today, you survived the winter, the coldest, the darkest winter on record for the past 80 years. If you're listening now, we've survived. We've made it through.
Yeah, way to go, us. Oh yeah, Ryan's away this week, and Dylan is graciously volunteered to fill the chair, I guess.
Absolutely. I feel like this can be a rotating position.
Yeah, I feel like even mine, if I wasn't here, I would hope that somebody would be able to show up. Maybe even you. You can be me and you can be Ryan. We have a couple of newsy type things, general things from last week we weren't able to get to that we would like to get out today. However, we have another guest who, if you're watching, you will have been able to see, but if you're listening, you wouldn't. Maybe we should get our guest on the auditory waves before we do these things.
Absolutely.
Hello. My name is Fabrizio Soros. I'm better known as Fabio Rivera, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the music program that's happening in Regent Park.
Sweet. I know basically nothing about this. Dylan just kind of fired it my way earlier today. So give us a backgrounder. What is the program?
The program is in concept stages right now. It's about to start up within the next couple months. I hope so. Project Soundscape, that's the name of it. Project Soundscape is to inspire and empower underprivileged youth within the Region Park community that want to become lifelong learners and leaders in the music industry. We are committed to providing a diligent and innovative curriculum, personalized mentorship, and captivating hands-on experiences that prepares students for success in the music industry. Yeah, little something to give back to the kids.
That's very nice. That's very full and encompassing of a lot of things that we look to do here in Regent Park. Sounds great.
Yeah, we need more art representation in the community, and I feel like this can come a long way.
Are there any ideas of like coming timelines or anything like that? When can people have well, I guess this is another question. Do kids sign up directly? Do parents sign the kids up? How exactly does this work for
Kids
those who
can
want to get
definitely
involved?
sign up directly. This will also be a co-op program offered to high school students, so we could actually give them high school credits in order for them to enroll.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a great overall thing. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario myself, and when I was in high school, I'm 21 right now, but when I was in high school, I used to skip music to go to the studio, and this is kind of a outlet for the kids that were gonna do that, but in a sense, like, they could still stay in school due to that, so it's a great outlet for the kids for sure. Yeah. But the timeline, is I'm hoping to start it next month. The proposal's already being written. I'm just waiting for the coordinator to okay everything, and I believe that they can come in or even contact through email with a proper portfolio to sign up, and then we'll look through everything, and then we'll give everybody our contact information after this. And we'll look through them, and then we'll give them an email back.
Okay. You were mentioning getting in touch by email. Do you have that email at the ready now, or is it something that's still
I have my
being kind of
personal
figured out?
email. I'm still waiting for the email from these guys to actually give, because they wanted to look through it as well. I'm
Okay.
not the only one behind this, so
Okay.
yeah, they just want to give it. They want to give themselves a look. It doesn't even need to be a portfolio. It could just be an email saying that they're interested, and then we can actually do like an actual in-person interview, which I'm looking forward to doing, which I'll be conducting myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is there like a website or something? How can folks kind of stay in the know about the
It
developments?
will definitely be on the Regent Park website.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will have brochures ready and stuff like that as well.
Um,
Yeah, this is still in the baby stages, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very nascent.
Mhm.
Can you take us through some of the components that'll be included in this music program, just for
Yeah,
people who may be listening?
100%. So it's gonna incorporate. Well, it's gonna just formally explain the ins and outs of the music business, digital music production, live music production, music theory, and digital video production. So it's gonna encompass a lot of things on the production side of music. This also is good for recording artists as well, if you want to learn how to engineer yourself, how to record yourself. But it's mainly based and driven towards the production side of things. This will also include music videos, video editing, a whole lot of stuff for the kids to learn.
And now, is this an opportunity for youth to create their own music and write their own songs?
100%. We're actually looking forward to teaching kids to the point where they can independently create their own music. And all they really need is a laptop, like, after I teach them. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was about to ask, in terms of equipment, like, will kids need, like a laptop? Will they need instruments? What kind of stuff can you provide, and what will they need to be bringing?
We're hoping to provide the laptops within itself. They're going to be used within the classroom. But if they do have their own laptops, then we could also set up their own laptops with the resources that we have. We're going to end up getting the plugins and the proper recording softwares and the production softwares for the kids to record on. We're going to be using Pro Tools, and we're also going to be using FL Studio, Fruity Loops, two of the most known music production softwares. Yeah.
Sweet. That's all I can think of. I don't know, anything else that you think is relevant for anybody potentially interested to know in terms of like what to expect or where to go to keep up? You mentioned the Regent Park website. Is that like the Regent Park Focus Media Arts website, or like
Yes.
Regent Park Community website?
It will be in the Regent Park Focus media website.
Okay.
Again, though, this is in the baby stages, and this is actually me, like, formally coming out with the program. This has been in the works for a little bit now.
Okay.
So this is the first platform that we're actually releasing the information
Oh,
on.
wow. So this is the announcement.
Yeah. So
Okay, awesome. So that the website for anybody who might be interested and not aware is regentparkfocus.com. That's the main landing page, and I'm assuming it would be maybe like there would be a banner for this coming up somewhere, or there's also workshops. There's a workshops tab, and maybe it would be coming
it's
up.
most likely going to be in the workshops page. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
for sure.
So there's a big workshops tab
hmm
right there. The
But it's
third
not the
in.
one that they have already on. Like it's not the you see that right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
so there's a music recording studio program already listed. It's not that one.
It's
right?
gonna be better than that one.
Ooh,
for sure.
whoa,
And
that's
like
quite a
that,
claim.
that last one was only one time a week, but since we are having co-op students involved in this, we are hoping to make this longer. Hopefully 4 to 5 days a week, even 3 days a week.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Awesome.
So kids could actually learn. Like we'll have like classroom settings, and then we'll also have studio settings, and then I'll actually bring in people from the music industry that I've worked with, OVO, EXO, and stuff like that, that will come over and like talk about their experiences and then give them a proper teaching.
wow, that all sounds like really cool. I wish this kind of thing existed when I was in high
That's what
school
I'm
that I had known
saying.
about.
Yeah.
I would have loved to do something like
Yeah,
this.
exactly. That's why I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be given that opportunity and happy to move forward with it as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dylan, anything else that you want to investigate from our lovely guest Fabio?
I think it's important to mention that everything on our website is great, and we always look to improve and better all of our programs to encompass a variety of different industry standards. So we're not down talking any other things that are
No down talking.
offered. We're just uplifting everything that's possible in the near future.
And innovating from what we already have.
Yeah, more like that one was so great. The next one is going to be even better.
Exactly.
right.
That was a blueprint starting point for
Yeah.
how to make it.
Yeah, honestly, if it
even more
wasn't for
accessible.
that, then I wouldn't be doing this right now. Knowing that there was an opportunity for
Ah.
this, like really showed me. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Any last things that you want to share about the program or anything?
Well, more in depth, everybody would be able to apply through a certain email, of course, and through like flyers and stuff that will be posted around the Regent Park community. But when that does happen, I look forward to meeting everybody and to giving them a brief rundown of what it actually contains, the contents of the program itself.
Super. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on and telling
Of
us about
course.
this and choosing us as the platform to share the announcement of this
Oh, yeah.
forthcoming awesome idea.
Yeah, I was very underprepared today, but I'm kind of happy with how it turned out.
Well, once things are a little more firmed up, you're welcome to come back and give a little more of a
Yes.
like a concrete like roadmap type announcement.
Yeah.
These are the dates. These are the
Exactly.
the more
Exactly.
specific particulars and all that. And yeah, we'd be happy to have you back and share that information.
Yeah, this is just the announcement, and then I'm looking forward to actually giving people the program outline, the unit outline, and what they're gonna receive from the program.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and
Thank you.
we'll see you again in the future.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fabio. Very eloquently spoken. And we look forward to hearing more about the program and seeing the to be decided dates of that program launching. And yeah,
Okay.
thanks so much.
All right. So while we're on the subject of community announcements, let's look next at how about this one? Because this is also Regent Park specific. The City of Toronto officially launching a call for 2023 Youth Violence Prevention Grant applications. This is a background from the city, and there's a bunch of money up for grabs for some, any group, I guess, in any certain target neighborhood that is hoping to move on this kind of initiative. And this is relevant. So the applications are open until April 11th at noon, and a total of $2.2 million in funding will be allocated to approve local community agencies in priority community zones, one of which is Regent Park, in case you are someone in Regent Park hoping to kind of move and maybe mobilize some kind of organization like this, or you already are doing so and would like some additional funding. Approved applicants can receive up to $200,000 each for a 3-year period starting this year. An additional $400,000 will remain committed to the ENAGB, which I'm not seeing the explanation of what that acronym is anywhere else. The youth program to continue supporting Indigenous youth via self-determined, culturally specific youth violence prevention programming in the city. So as I mentioned, Regent Park is in one of the 6 priority zones that may be eligible for the funding. And in order to be eligible for the grant, projects must deliver violence prevention, intervention, or interruption programming for youth between the ages of 10 to 29 who are most vulnerable to involvement in serious violent crime. And applications must also be from partnerships that include an established community-based nonprofit-led organization, as well as a grassroots group or organization.
I think that's important. I think it's good to keep the community connected to these established community-based nonprofit-led organizations, as well as grassroots groups or organizations, because I feel like a large part of that keeps it out of the hands of the government, and government funding sometimes can be a little bit rough. But it is offered by the city of Toronto, right?
Yeah, but I guess the part is like, they want to give this money to the groups, which, as you say, I think is a really good thing. It's one thing if some government office just plunks down in the middle of Regent Park and it's like, here, don't be violent, right? And it's another thing if there's like, actually, as it said, kind of retconning what I said earlier, it doesn't sound like you need to already be a group doing this kind of work. It sounds like to be eligible for this, you can't be kind of like starting a new thing. But maybe that kind of speaks to what you're just saying about like, this organization or these people already have kind of a working relationship with potentially at-risk youth. And I feel like that's much more conducive to like a successful outcome, if that makes sense.
I think they're really investing in proven methods of engagement because they've seen what investing in the wrong organizations can do, and they are speaking to the consistent ones that are doing good work, and so they invest to encourage that growth and that consistent involvement within the community.
Yeah. It doesn't say how many. I don't think anyway it says how many groups are eligible in total, or whether there is like, only one per zone or whatever. There is a longer form webpage linked out of this one that has a lot more details.
Right. I guess
I will not read because there's a lot.
I guess if there's 6 boroughs or neighborhoods at $2.2 million, that gets you about $3.5 million $350,000 per area.
Oh, you're good at math. I am not.
Possibly.
Well, yeah, the amount that they were saying each applicant can receive was $200,000. So maybe they are choosing like roughly one per, and maybe like -1 for some other reason, or who knows.
And then they monitor, I guess, annually. They say you can get up to 3 years of funding or support. So
right, yeah, for up to a 3-year period. So you might get, the $200,000. You might get up to $200,000 in 1 year, and you might get it again the next 2 subsequent years. But I guess it's, that's kind of stuff to be determined, like whether you're meeting the goals that the city probably will have set out. You probably have to meet certain targets,
but it is good news.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully some good will come of it, and maybe something to revisit in the future, actually. Another quick city-based announcement is the election, the mayoral by-election timeline. Just reading out a couple of dates for when, things are going to be happening. Tory's gone. Deputy mayor is in now. The nominations for the new mayor will officially open on April 3rd at 8:30 a.m. I thought they were already up because I have heard some potential candidates say that they're like definitively running, but
yeah, it says at this point it remains unclear who will run in the by-election, though city councillors Josh Matlow and Brad Bradford have both said they're exploring a potential run, as has Liberal MPP Mitzi Hunter and former police chief Mark Saunders. Gil Penalosa, who finished a distant second to Tory in October's election, had said also that he intends to run again.
Right, yeah, so I guess, the formal thing hasn't opened yet, but a lot of these candidates are basically saying, yep, I'm going to be there. In case you are considering running, the nominations period ends May 12th at 2 p.m. And then, so that's just over a month that nomination period will be open during the month of April, more or less. And then advance voting will be expected to take place from June 8th to 13th. And then I think it would be a few days after that. Yeah, the 26th of June would be the official date of that by-election.
At a price point of $13 million.
Didn't you talk a few weeks ago about
Yeah.
the cost of this whole thing versus the money raised for the Young Street Mission Coldest Night and all that?
Yeah, annually, nationally, we raise $12 million, and you can still donate at cnoy.ca.
Oh, that's still happening.
Throughout the month of March. So we can
Ooh, that's this month.
We can raise more than their budget.
Let's do
We've
that.
got another 2 weeks.
Do you know what the budget raised or the amounts raised for the fundraiser is at the moment?
I believe it's well above $12 million. It could be $12.5 million.
Is that a number that we can quickly pull up, or is it a little more digging?
If you go to cnoy.ca, you might be able to take a look, although they might have left it at 12 million because there's still 2 weeks left. So they might give a total at the end of March. But they're 106%. So $12,721,704. There's 106% of their $12 million goal.
Awesome. Did you read that from here, or did you pull it up on your computer?
I read it from here.
Your eyes are quite good. That's impressive. Dylan, for those listening only and not being able to see, Dylan is rather far from the screen that I'm using. And this text is not super big, but that was pretty impressive.
My eyes are good for now.
Oh, and it shows like very specific stats. And I'm assuming that this today part is like the amount of money raised in this day, which there's been almost $11,000 raised just today. And
look at that. You see the second one there?
Dream Team? Are you on that?
That's actually, if you look, there's actually a different location. So it's a similar name to the team, but you'll see it's out of Moncton.
Oh, yeah. And the top one is Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then there's Alliston and White Rock. So these are all over. The first one I see, Toronto, is the Street Haven Warriors in position 5, who have raised $29,161, which is pretty awesome.
That's great. West Coast looks like big contributors though as well.
Yeah, the Vancouver something, I can't see the rest. Oh, I don't. Vancouver Broadway City Reach Care Society, who has raised $46,325, and they also surpassed their own individual fundraising goal of $40,000. Looks like.
Nice. From coast to coast, we are raising and marching in the name of hurt, hunger, and homelessness.
Awesome. These are some pretty cool stats. So yeah, you can go to that website that we were just mentioning, cnoy.org. Actually, I've been redirected to a .org. I don't know if there's a .ca. Did I get redirected from the
CA, I believe, is the Canada version, but .org might give you a more broadened.
Oh well, I punch in CA and it redirects me actually right to org. So I guess cool. you can punch in cnoy.ca or cnoy.org, CNOY. Sorry, not CNOI, and you'll end up here. Sweet.
Cool.
Okay. So those are our community type announcements. There's one more thing that is a community-ish announcement that actually kind of goes into what Fabio was saying a little bit, talking about allowing students to receive credit for non-sitting in the classroom, at a desk looking at I was going to say a piece of paper or a book, but kids these days probably use friggin', tablets and laptops and whatever in classrooms, right? I don't know. Have you been into school recently? Have you seen what happens in schools these days?
I haven't been to school in 10 years.
Yeah.
And when I was in school, I wasn't focused on this specifically, but I did work in the trades following school.
Oh.
And I was in a restaurant earlier today, and this is a big conversation among contractors and different businesses, because this is a large opportunity to help invest in the new generation of infrastructural construction, electrician, tiling, framing, glasswork, rebar, concrete, and the list goes on. This is an amazing opportunity to ensure that the future generation has a workforce not only to build this country, but also to impart values and experience of hard and soft skills of this industry. So it looks like...
Yeah, tell us more.
Yeah, the Ontario.
There's a lot of exciting preamble, but we don't actually know what it is, except for those of us in the studio.
So here's it. The Ontario construction sector alone will need 72,000 new workers by 2027 in the next 4 years to fill positions open by retirements and labor demand. So the amount of people who are retiring is more than the people that are being hired, and there's a huge not wage gap, but there's a huge employment gap within this industry that needs to be filled in the next 5 years to guarantee the projects that are currently ongoing and hope to be finished in the next 5 years.
Yeah, because there's so many building things happening all the time. You know, Doug Ford is always talking about building all these buildings, not for the people who need them the most, but, you know, that, and, you know, we see that there's like skyscrapers going up everywhere and there's cranes in the sky all the time. But, like, as you say, people aren't really, like, I feel like the trades, like skilled trades and construction and things like that, are such a looked down upon industry, yet it's something that we all need and expect to have, right? It's like, it's always seems so bizarrely like incongruent to me that there's this, like, you know, these people are seen as like, oh, you know, these workers who can't do like other kinds of work, yet without them we will be sleeping on the street or in a park or whatever.
May I also give a shout out to women entering this sector as well?
Booyah, yes.
Women in construction these days as electricians and plumbers and tilers and everything. Women are just as capable, if not more detailed, specific attention to detail in some of these industries. And so it is very empowering for women, and it is very important for the country of Canada on a whole to recognize the ability and the power that women have and how capable they are of all the things that men do.
Yeah, it's like a super traditionally male-dominated industry, right?
But women are tough too. Women can handle more than men handle some days.
Oh yeah,
if not every day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of on this bent. I'm actually glad that you brought this up. I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but just yesterday, Ontario is planning to require women-only bathrooms on large construction sites. I saw this and was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I don't know if we can really, you know, fit this in. However, what you just said, there's a panda walking around outside the booth right now.
Yeah, we have a blow-up. Fabio's wearing a blow-up panda costume with a fan inside that makes you like a balloon, like an Oompa Loompa from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's pretty wild, but unfortunately, even y'all can't see this who are watching because we're just looking out with wide eyes. So an inspection blitz that happened last month, this is coming from CBC, found 244 bathroom-related violations according to the Labor Ministry. And, you know, I'm assuming this is like coming from the kind of history of it being such a male-dominated industry where, especially for, like, you know, the purposes of urination, men probably don't really necessarily need a urinal, so they kind of will just like go wherever, right? I don't know if that has anything to do with the truth. I just am remembering that I saw this article recently and I was like, oh, Dylan talking about, you know, this exact thing. I'm like, yeah, it, like, besides the kind of like social barriers and opposition and whatever that would be kind of part of the extra hurdles of women choosing to get into this industry, there's also like literal infrastructural things, right? Like, where are you supposed to use the bathroom? You know, we have an example here of iron worker. I don't know how to pronounce this name, which I feel bad about. But talking about the terrible condition of the bathrooms, iron worker, I'll try my best, Mahid Repen, oh man, help me out here. You can't see what I'm seeing,
I'm
can
not
you?
on that article.
Repentigny?
That's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah. Was talking about the bathroom situation, describing it as literally just a big pile of feces. No flushing, no water, no soap, no paper, no nothing. Might as well just go outside at that point.
When you think about an industry that's building the city and they don't have the essential facilities in order to relieve themselves, I think it's important that there's equity being built in this sector for women because it is important to have access to clean areas in which you are building a city, especially with the union and the wage that is offered and the amount of productivity we see these workers do overnight and over the course of a couple of years. You can look at a corner and it's completely different because of these workers that work so hard and take time away from their families in order to raise their families and build savings and wealth for their family in the future as well.
Yeah, and like kind of on that track too, you know, just because it's like has become the socially acceptable thing for, I guess, male-dominated industries to lack these things, that doesn't mean that everybody who identifies as male is necessarily even happy with that, right? Like, it just becomes this kind of like cultural gender type thing where it's like, oh, if you're a man, you'll just deal with these gross unsanitary conditions, right? But like that doesn't mean that every man enjoys that either.
Just because we tolerate things doesn't mean we're okay with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Humans are very adaptable. And then there's like apparently a lot of horror stories here, talking about just the whole unpleasant and dirty situation of the bathroom things. But at the very end, seeing that it's just one issue in the industry, saying that there needs to be more inspectors, not just about washrooms. Washrooms are like the low-hanging fruit because if there's a site that has a horrible washroom issue, they probably have horrible safety issues. Everyone deserves the right to a washroom, says, it doesn't rename the person speaking here. Megan Kinch, who has worked for years as a construction electrician, sorry. Yeah, and again, right, like these people do really hard work and really important work, and like they deserve a good, clean, and safe place to work. Everybody does for every reason, right? Just like anybody else in any industry, basically.
They're building state-of-the-art buildings from architects all over the world, yet they can't access the same equity and quality of washrooms while they build it.
Yeah, that's wild. On that note, we are evidently at the end of our show already for today.
Unreal, man. Time flies.
I don't know what happened there. So that has been news and views for the week of, I didn't say the date. March 16th is today. Any closing remarks before we tune out?
It seems like this show is continually growing and becoming more and more diverse with a lot of new things on the way. So I encourage anybody who's listening for the first time to stay tuned and pay attention to what's coming next, because we're still trying to figure that out, and we're very excited about it.
Yeah, we are here on the air every Thursday at 4:30. Also on the YouTubes. Usually these episodes go out about a week after they broadcast, so you can catch up there as well, and then get some behind the scenes ish footage. I guess it is the scenes. You get some of the scenes footage as opposed to only hearing things.
You get to see and hear.
Yes. So
sensory overload.
Yeah. Wow. Bisensorial experience. Amazing. So thank you again very much, Dylan, for stepping up and filling the chair for Ryan, who is away this week and will be back next week. I really appreciate your presence and ongoing contributions.
Well, thank you, Jesse. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. I'll be back next week, and we'll try and work out a couple more things to see if I could stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah, hoping so. And this has been News and Views, again, coming to you from the Daniel Spectrum Building, and this is Radio Regent, which is what you've been listening to. Keep listening. There's lots of great programming coming up, in the immediate future, and then all the time. Stay tuned to the video, and we will catch you next week on the flip side. Ciao for now.
See you guys.